On April 9th and 10th, Yjastros will begin its journey back into the tablao. For flamencos, the tablao is a sacred space where we share our individual artistic expression. And it's also the place where these individuals come together to create the flamenco machine known as the cuadro. The cuadro is the flamenco group made up of dancers, singers, guitarists, and percussionists, all coming together with one goal in mind: the timeless expression of flamenco. I want to begin to share with you, the viewers, some fun yet important information about the tablao, its place in my life, and some information I hope will make your tablao experiences even richer. What does the word tablao mean? I'm not a linguist, but two vivid images come to my mind when I think of the word tablao. One is the picture of the dancers. The French use the word tableau to describe scenes of actors or performers. The other is the actual wood, or tablados, we dance on. These are the boards that become our drum. The etymology of the word and the history of the flamenco tablao is one I leave to experts, but I can speak with certainty to some experiences I've had in tablaos growing up. My family has had a long relationship with the tablao. My grandmother Clarita not only had a studio in her house, but also a performing space where she would put on her own shows. Here I am at the University of New Mexico, where my mother Eva first began teaching in 1976. My earliest memories of dancing in a tablao in Albuquerque are at the High Noon restaurant in Old Town. Here I am with my family in the early 70s. Another early memory I have is my mother Eva performing at Luis's Place restaurant on Central, as I enjoyed their delicious fettuccine alfredo and cheesy garlic bread. As I got older, I danced for a couple of years at the Cafe Broadway. When I started dancing at this location, I didn't have any live musicians, so I would dance to a recording of Antonio Canales doing his Solea. Here on Gold Street, we opened the Conservatory of Flamenco Arts in the 90s. We held monthly tablaos here until we lost the space to a fire. Now, in times like these when flamenco tablaos are closing in Spain, we are lucky enough to have a beautiful flamenco performing space, Tablao Flamenco Alburquerque. It's here I want to present some members and apprentices from my company as we begin to uncover the language of the tablao. The language of tablao begins with compás, or flamenco rhythm. My saxophone teacher growing up, John Truitt, taught me something important about flamenco rhythm. Besides playing the saxophone, John was a very accomplished flamenco guitarist. He showed me that the very complicated rhythms could be broken down into component parts. Though we dance in complicated meters, 12s and 8s, really, they are made up of simple patterns of 2s, 3s, and 4s. To begin with, we'll have Claudia play rhythm in 4s. I'll do some counts to make it nice and clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, Nevares will be clapping in 3s. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finally, Jose will clap in 2s. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to be in tangos, which is in 8s. They'll put 2 4s together to make an 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to use 4 sets of 2 to make an 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to switch from 8s to 12s, from tangos to bulería. They're going to use 4 sets of 3 to make a 12. One, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now we're going to use 2s to make 12s. So we'll do 6 sets of 2 to arrive at 12. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2. Sometimes the rhythm can sound a little harder to follow, and it's because we're putting 3s and 2s together to make 12. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We the dancers have many types of steps to express flamenco through movement. I want to start by introducing 3 of these types. We have steps that mark the time and the feeling. These are called marcajes. We also have transition steps that link one step to another. I like to call these steps cambios, which means to change. Finally, we have steps that punctuate, which use the word remate. As I mentioned earlier, at times as a young flamenco dancer, I would have to perform to recorded music. As a live performing artist, I feel the musicians are an integral part of the live performance. In the case of flamenco, the live dance cannot live without the live music. Flamenco dancers need the singers, guitarists, and percussionists to form the cuadro, what I like to think of as a flamenco machine. Here we're going to be dancing to music by El Galli, who will be singing, Paco Iglesias, who will be playing guitar, El Cheyenne on the cajon, or flamenco percussion, and finally Moy de Moron, who will be helping with coros, or chorus. We're going to have the dancers from Yjastros begin to demonstrate marcajes, or marking steps. Let's watch them as they mark in 4s or 8s to tangos. Notice how the marking steps mark the time and the feeling of the music. Now the dancers will go from marking in 8s to marking in 12s, por bulería. The palmeros in the background are playing palmas in 3s. The dancers will use transition steps to join one marking step to another. Let's watch as Andrea does this por tangos. Nevares and Jose will be doing steps of punctuation at the end of these marking steps. We call these steps remates. Here, Andrea and Noel will also perform a simple remate. I'd like you to notice this remate was done during the singing to punctuate the song. Not all remates are the same length. Here the dancers are going to start with the shortest one and move to a longer one. Each dancer will get a little bit longer each time they stand up. So we've learned something about the compás, or the rhythm, and we've learned about a few types of steps. But how is it that we put these blocks together to create a dance for the tablao? Well, first it takes years of study to be able to execute the steps with the technique required. But that in some ways is only the beginning. How do we learn how to apply those steps to the music being played by the musicians? That part is even harder and takes more resources. Depending on the dancer, much of the movement has been practiced enough ahead of time and it's in your body. However, an element of improvisation and unscripted live performance comes into play. I like to compare it to my experience of playing baseball. We used to do situational drills in practice. There's a man on second and there are 2 outs. The ball comes to you, and what do? The drills help you, but you never know what the situation will be in the game. That's exactly what happens in the tablao. The singer sings a different song. The guitar plays longer. God forbid you forget a step. So what do? That is the language of tablao. Now we're going to begin to perform parts of the dance. Noel is going to start at the beginning with what's called the salida. After that, Noel is going to do a llamada, which calls the singer to sing. Now Claudia will dance the first letra, which is when the singer is singing. The word letra is used to describe the verse or the words the singer uses to sing their song.
Cuando te vengas conmigo, allá donde te vea llevar.
In between letras, dancers will often dance to falsetas, which are guitar melodic ideas. The next section of the baile is going to be what's called guitarra tapada or tapao. It is a percussive section when the strings of the guitar are topped or muted, and the dancers get to demonstrate patadas, which are punctuation steps, or escobillas, which are footwork steps. Now we're going to have Nevares performing portangos. He will be performing escobilla, which are footwork steps. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the music you're hearing today. To begin to solve the problem of preparing dancers to learn the language of flamenco and to dance in the tablao, my sister Marisol worked with artists from Spain to create tablao music tracks for her choreography class at the University of New Mexico. The university has graciously allowed Yjastros, the dance program's flamenco company in residence, to use these tracks. This is something I would like to talk more about in the future, but what I'll say for now is that my sister brought together some of the best artists to create an incredible resource that we are benefiting from today. In closing, Carlos Menchaca is going to perform portientos. He's going to do a llamada or a punctuation step, as well as perform to the verse or cante. Today I've tried to create for you just a small taste of what's to come in the future. There is a lot to talk about when you're learning the language of tablaos. Join us on April 9th and 10th as Yjastros returns to the tablao. And join me in the future as we learn more about the language of the tablao.